Hello, I'm Chandra Cost, and I'm with Beacons of Light. And today I have Bee Woo with me. Bee, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. So my legal name is Andrea, but my kind of stage name, I guess you could say, or my nickname as far as being a medium and a psychic is Bee Woo. I had early experiences, just psychic things here and there, and an interest in the whole psychic astrology tarot when I was in my early 20s. And I went to a bunch of psychics, but I just wasn't like impressed. I don't know. Like I always kind of felt like if I went to a psychic, I couldn't trust them unless first they could bring in accurate things about my life now. And then if they predict the future, then I would like there's something to bank on. But if they go straight to predicting, I'd be like, yeah, but you haven't really proven yourself. Not that they have to, like what number am I thinking of, or like give me something like, not like a test thing, because I know, you know, especially since I'm psychic too, you're like human. You're not like God or a computer or something. You're human, but something that would make me understand that okay, they have something there.
Right.
And so I kind of let it go. And when I was in college, I went to college near Lilydale. Do you know what Lilydale is?
Ooh, yes. I've never been there, but I want to go.
it
Yeah.
was it was really exciting. And um I was, just some of my college friends said, let's go. It's a community of psychics. So I thought, okay. And I went, and, I was very young, and I just wanted to ask, like, where the hell is my soulmate? That's like what I wanted. And so the medium starts bringing in my grandfather and this boy I knew who died right after high school. And I started crying hysterically, not hysterically, but I cried. And he's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I just want to know where my soulmate is." Like, so my point is, I didn't get that there was something called a medium. I
Right.
didn't like it was so off my radar for such a long time, and I have no idea why. But I even watched the TV show Medium, and I thought it was so cool, but still, it didn't occur to me that there were real mediums.
Yeah.
And then about 3 years ago, I found out, and I thought it was interesting, and I started practicing and taking classes. And then I started realizing I had all these memories of, being a kid and a young adult with all these like medium spirit things that had been coming to me, but I was just so clueless. And I love it. I love it so much. It's just it feels like magic to me when, I'm practicing with another medium and they bring in something that I know, like, they could not have known. Like, they couldn't have Googled it, or
Right.
that I bring something in that, like, I know I have no clue what I'm saying, but they get what that specifically was about.
Right. That is very moving when that happens. Yeah. Gratifying
Yes.
too.
What's that?
And gratifying, like, wow,
It
something you never
is.
would have imagined that comes to you and you just say it and that person knows it, but you don't know it. That is
Yeah.
magical. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's like, wow, there's a connection with the universe. And I don't think that I would have believed it, and I wouldn't believe it now if I hadn't experienced it myself. I don't think anyone can really believe it unless they experience it?
Right. Yes, I do. And thank you for sharing that so much. Do you want to go over any possible things? Some do, some people don't have them, but like ethics, maybe morals, responsibilities that you think are
Mhm.
important that you follow, and not that they have to follow, but that you think that you follow.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, there are a few things. The first thing that comes up for me is it's partially ethics and just partially functioning. To be a good medium, I think, at least for me, I can't let my ego get in the way, or I just don't do good readings. If I'm concerned about, oh, I want this person to believe that I'm a medium or think I'm really good, or, oh, I hope I nail it this time, like that kind of stuff, I can't do it. I really have to just get my ego out of the way and focus on the fact that I'm trying to help two people, one who's living and one who's in spirit, who loves that person,
Right.
right? And I'm trying to connect them. Just like, if I found like a friend who was talking about someone that they loved and they haven't seen in 20 years and couldn't find them, and I found them and connected them. So it's not about me, it's about the result.
Right.
And that's when I can do that, that really helps a lot. So it's a little ethics because it's about, just keeping your own ego out of the way and focusing on the help, what you can do.
Right.
But as far as ethics and morals and things like that, I think it's just really important not to, well, of course, you want to have clients, but you don't need to get people dependent on you. There are always going to be clients. There are always going to be problems. I like to say, the day that there are no problems and there's peace on earth, that's much better for me than people having problems. So I'm not worried about clients. I know I'll always have clients. So I like to try to empower people and also help them understand how they can connect with their loved ones on their own, which is, it's a little different than someone reading you, as far as evidence, but you still, there are a lot of ways that you can connect and get evidence on your own so that you don't have to go to a medium all the time. And the same with psychic. Like I I kind of have like a therapy thing about me. My whole life people have been going, you should be a therapist. And I just never really wanted to do that. But I kind of find that with this, and I don't need anybody to be dependent on me. I want, like I say, like a good doctor, a good therapist, they don't want you to be, to be milking you and keep you hanging on, right? They want to empower you to be mentally healthy and physically healthy. And so I think that's really important ethically, that you're actually trying to help people.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I get that too. Because a lot of times they're hurting so bad and they just want you to make them feel better. And they
Right.
feel better because they're getting that message. But like you said, to help them realize that that spirit person is with them and probably giving them signs that they're probably in too much of a pain to realize that's a sign. Yeah,
Yes.
excellent.
Yeah, it's so true, Chandra. And also your belief level. I know when I get in this mood or phase where I realize, oh, I'm not really believing that the spirit exists, and I'm focused on getting it, then wait a minute, I'm not believing they're there. When you have to actually make sure you're believing they're there, because otherwise, it's like a client coming and testing you, right? Like, okay, let's see what you get. No, their name wasn't Jean, it was Janine. You know what I mean? Like no, then it's not about you understanding that they're like your loved one named Janine is really here and they're trying so hard to connect with you,
Yeah,
and you're testing a medium, and they're like, because they're working so hard in spirit to get their vibration low enough and to give messages that the medium can say that you will get, and all this. So it's so important that the client, or someone who's not a medium or a psychic, is believing that they're here, and that way when they're not paying for a psychic or a medium, they on their own will start getting the messages because they're focused on, like, I know you're here and I know you're trying, and I'm gonna meet you halfway, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I like that. That's helping them a lot too. Yeah, wonderful. How
Yes.
about do you do any ceremonies, prayers, anything daily before you work that you would like to tell anybody?
Yeah, sure. I mean, for me, everyone doesn't have this, but for me, I think that meditating is so important. And I heard one medium, Eileen Davies, who's, one of the best mediums around, and she had said that it's like gas, like it's like gas in your car. If you stop meditating for a while, it's like, your car's run out of gas. So, I believe in that. I have friends who don't meditate, who are mediums, but that really helps me. And I notice a difference if I go for a few days without meditating. So, and sitting in the power, that's, just kind of connecting with your spirit people on your own. It's almost like meditating, just a little bit different. So these things are really important, and just keeping one's vibration high in order to connect. So when you are doing a reading, you need to keep your vibration high by, thinking positive thoughts. If I'm talking about the other day with so and so and blah blah, like that's going to bring my vibration down. So I have to, and of course, it's not like, I mean, I complain, and I'm human, but when it's time for mediumship, I need to kind of clear the air, keep things light for myself. And, I try to laugh. Laughing helps me get my vibration up.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that. I like to laugh. My spirit guides are they're very comical.
Are they?
Sometimes what I get from them just I have to stop and I think and I'm like, that is so funny, but I get yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I find myself laughing, and I know they said something funny and that my soul got it and I'm laughing, but it's hard for me as a human to, like, I'm still trying to hear what they're saying, but I know it was funny because I'm laughing. I know that sounds kind of weird, but
No, no, I think that that's important to let people know because it's not always it is serious when you're working with a customer, but you need to bring like if that person's got a humor, you need to bring that through. That's evidence.
yes, yes, and say, this person, your dad, I feel like he had a really good sense of humor because he's making jokes with me right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe, just my belief that whatever your personality is, that's what your spirit guides are. I mean, I don't know if everybody's that way, but I find that's true for me. So, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe not everybody gets that, but that's
Mhm.
what I find with me is, or like the stuff I know that really helps too, like
Yeah.
the dictionary.
Well, they say that, we're matched with spirit guides that'll be a match for us, compatible. So that would make sense that we'd have like a similar personalities or sense of humor or, artistic or, whatever qualities.
Yes, yes. Um, do you have any people? I know you talked about is it Eileen? But
Eileen, yeah.
yeah, people that you know that helped you along the way, or people
Mhm.
that you've had a great experience with that maybe helped you on your journey.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of people who helped me. When I first started out, there was a woman, I'm not sure if she's still doing mediumship anymore, Alison Calora. She's just such a sweetheart. And then this woman named Marie Hess, and I was in her developmental circle for a while, and she really helped me so much, so much. And then it was time for me to move on. You just get kind of messages or vibes when it's time for you to move to a new teacher, a new sitter. And, I have friends who go to someone, who's thousands of dollars and they spend a year with them, online and traveling. And I have other friends who feel like they'll be impacted in a negative way by having a teacher. So they just do self-training where they're practicing and practicing and practicing. And both are equally as good. So you just have to find your path. Then I worked for a while with Charlie Seaman from SNU, which is the Spiritualist National Union. SNUI, I is their internet program, and he does a weekly workshop. I think it's on Saturdays, like a mediumship development class online. And I worked with him for about a year, and then time to go, just for me, like that's how I'm just, I just kind of pay attention to what feels right for me. And let's see, I took a class with Martin Twycross. That was more not a class where you practice, it's just more like learning, like very informational about mediumship and things you can do to keep links and things like that. So that was great too. Trying not to leave anybody out. Um, right now I'm in a closed circle, and Pamela Busby, she's very interesting, and she does mediumship and multidimensional mediumship, which is like aliens from other planets and spirit guides, and um, she was great. And now Lawrence Taylor, he's really great. He has some videos out there, and he's got a lot of great exercises. Yeah, I don't want to leave anyone out. I've probably
Oh,
studied with other people too. That's all I can think of right now. But yeah, and just practicing, if I recommend, if you need the practice, join circles. Circles means online groups where a bunch of mediums practice together. And if there aren't any on the day or the times that you're available, then create your own and then invite people to come to them on Zoom.
yeah, that's great. Because I've been to your circle. I practice with you. And it's hard because like I think I've done just a handful of circles with you. And so like you're a person that has helped me on my journey. And for a moment, but I still seem to like come back and see you every once in a while and join the circle. It's been a while, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you, and I'm so glad to hear that it's helped you.
yeah, it has. Yeah. And
Oh, by the way, in case anybody's interested in coming, anyone's welcome. It's an open circle. It's on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And you can, post the information, and yeah, people can come. It's just for mediums, but it's any level, even if you're beginning and you just want to try out. And yeah, yeah, people come and go.
yeah, I think that's the one I've been on, and sometimes I just watched, but later when I had more confidence, I participated, and
Mhm.
so that's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no pressures on that one.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yes. And is there any advice you want to give somebody? Maybe something we haven't talked about that you want? Um, yourself.
Advice on what? Exactly.
Um, just anything we have not covered that you've experienced.
Um,
I think.
yeah, I mean, as a like advice to mediums or advice to clients.
It would be somebody that's probably newly coming
Hmm.
awake on their journey here that they might, do you have a support group that you have maybe or how you
Oh,
found your support group or just, stuff like that? Because a lot
yeah.
of it people are there, I remember thinking, man, what's going on in my life is it's not right. I didn't feel right. I was kind of ostracized and stuff like that. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be that, but whatever you think you want to give advice on.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have started a mentorship program where I'm helping beginning mediums just kind of launch, and a lot of these questions come up sometimes. I do private lessons, and I also do small groups, which is only like 2 to 4 people max. And questions like this come up, how much should you charge? Should you charge? and I'm sure things like this, coming out and how people react, and what if they tell you it's the devil's work and the Bible thing, or what if they say, all mediums are con artists, like all those kind of lie kind of things. And like, so I have, as far as the Bible, so, if you go back before the Christian Bible, right?
Right.
If you want to talk Bible a little bit and like that whole thing. Um, so the original Bible was the Torah, and it was written in Hebrew. And in that, it says that no one's allowed to change one character, like not one word. You can't add a word, you can't, subtract a word. But meanwhile, the Christian Bible is, you know, the Torah
Yeah.
edited. There are a lot of words. There are tenses, past tense changed to future tense. There are a lot of words edited. So like, you could just start from there. But I have friends who speak Hebrew and read Hebrew from Israel, and I had them go over that one part that says like you shouldn't have mediums or whatever. And it really doesn't say that. What it says is you shouldn't have somebody you shouldn't go to someone to have them tell your fortune, because your fortune can change, and then you're not really living your life, and you're dependent on somebody else for telling you like what could happen, and that kind of thing. And you shouldn't summon the dead to do your bidding. That's what it's saying. It doesn't say that no one should be a medium, or that no one should be a psychic, or that no one can go to these people. I mean, in the Bible there are a lot of people who were mediums and psychics. People who were talking to God or mediums. And there are a lot of prophets. So yeah, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. But I also like when you said not to go for the advice. You can be given the advice, but you still have free will.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah, exactly. I don't, it's okay. Like for example, like I was doing a channeling once, and so about 10 years ago, I forgot to mention, I started out doing channeling, and taking channeling courses and reading channeling books on channeling high spirit. How many times can I say channeling? I gotta stop. High spirit guides and angels and things like that. And I had a situation where my hairdresser, she was cutting my hair, and she agreed for me to do a channeling, and I started crying, and I saw her like walking and having a choice to walk by land or water, and like something really bad happening to her with the water. And I felt like her spirit guides, or I don't know if it was, people, spirits who were like, it was really upsetting and emotional. And I'd never had that before, but I didn't say like you're gonna die. Like it wasn't this doom thing, like this, here's a prediction and nothing can change. And you should never
right?
say that to somebody. And I don't think it's good when people go to a psychic and say like, or he and I going to get married, because you don't know. It's more about now and seeing where things are heading, and things can always shift. Anyway, months later, I went back to her, and she told me this whole story about how she was hiking, and, she got lost, and she was near a river, and people helped her, and she was fine. And I reminded her of the channeling, and she didn't remember it at all. She didn't remember it. But the point is that there's a difference between seeing a potential problem or peril and warning and saying, I think you should do this instead, just to help somebody, opposed to saying like something is definitely going to happen.
Yes.
It's not true, and it could be debilitating. And you know what, there are certain things that are important, and our spirit guides or angels don't want us to know now, because if they told us, it might affect things, and then it won't happen. You know, something good maybe won't happen because we're looking out for it and then we miss it or something, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I've had that happen.
Really, what happened?
Oh, well, just I was told um just I was given a reading and I was told well I asked what I'm supposed to be doing because I always get I'm a healer and they wouldn't tell me because it's just I'm supposed to do it in steps. And so that's how this beacons of light has come. And so this is a step and I don't know where it's going. And I remember feeling so sad that day and I'm almost going to cry now, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I don't get to know really want to know because I keep hearing I'm a healer." And so I was like, "Well, I've done Reiki. I don't really for me, I don't feel that's my path."
Mm.
And so I didn't know. So, okay, so if it's not Reiki, what should I do? Is what I was wanting to know, what type of healer.
Right.
And this person was also channeling, so I know it came from a higher source. And I had seen them do other people like perfect, great stuff for channeling. But when it came to me and this, no, you're not to know. And then I remember sitting and thinking I was sad, like, okay, I really wanted guidance to find
Right.
where I should focus.
Yeah.
And then it came to me that if I knew, I wouldn't do it because it might be um I don't know that it's so big, but it's such a difference than what I'm normally used to. I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. So I have to take it in baby steps.
That's so cool.
And but
Okay.
I was really sad and I'm still sad. I still think of that day and it's which wasn't too long ago. And so I'm just all right, I'll follow my guides. I will do each little step and knowing that I'm guided along the way to do it.
You know what? I have an idea. Do you want to try something with me?
Sure, I would love it.
Okay. So this is something I do with my clients where because besides mediumship, I also do tarot,
Oh, I love
right?
Carol.
I find that, you know, some mediums like to not do it with, you know, tools.
Right.
I find for me, tarot and oracle cards really help me connect. And what I like to do a lot is I will give my opinion as a person, and then I'll do the cards. And very often the cards are a completely different opinion than mine. And it just really shows that, like, it's total. Like the other day I did a reading for someone and she didn't want to give this guy another chance. And I was like, you know what? Let me tell you a story. And I told her about this friend of mine and how she gave a guy another chance and now they're married and everything. And I'm like, okay, now let's see the cards. And the cards totally agreed with her. And we're like, do not give him another chance. He's not ready for commitment. He's fickle, you know. And I was like, see, but I like to give my own opinion because then you see that once I tune in psychically, you know, then it's not my opinion, you know, it's coming from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I have an idea for you. I'm not going to give you my opinion just because of, you know, what you told me. But first I'm going to check with the cards. And if I get a positive card, then I'm going to feel like the spirit guides are saying, yeah, you should suggest this to her because it's time. Or,
Okay.
you know, it doesn't mean that it's right or anything. And of
No.
course, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't do it, of course. But I have an idea for you. And okay, I'm going to choose a card and let's see if it tells me to tell you or not. Ah, Knight of Swords. Nope. Nope, that's not the right idea for you. Okay. All right. I had an idea for a healing thing, but just from what I chose, I feel like that isn't the right path for you, so I'm not going to steer you
Okay.
to that
Well,
one.
thank you for that though.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
that's fun. And that's great example to show people. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you know, I just feel, oh, hold on, I got one more for you. Let me see. Oh. Wow, this is a positive card. I got this for you. The Lovers.
Oh yeah, I love that deck of cards too.
So what I was thinking, and so this one I'm going to tell you was that maybe the idea is that you explore all different modalities. I don't mean do them all, just
Right.
explore as far as research all different modalities of healing and healing programs and things like this, whether they're spiritual or medical or, whatever, functional medicine and, Reiki and, everything in between, and then see what your heart feels. I think that's where we get the Lovers, something that you go, oh my God, that feels great. I want to do that. And I think that's, you're going to lead yourself there.
Yeah, I think you're right because I love to learn, and a lot of times I do the classes and the learning for myself, never intending it to be for anybody else ever. And sometimes it helps me do a reading because it's something I've done. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, cool.
And I like that you say how you feel. Like it'll be one if it resonates with me, and
Yeah.
if I feel a passion for it, then I would then you're in. Like if you feel it full force, like the Lovers,
Yeah.
then you're going to do it passionately and be really good at it.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's a sign for you, that if your soul is resonating with it, if your soul is feeling that in love feeling, as you look into a certain, modality or certificate or whatever it is, or course, or, whatever, then that's, you're leading yourself. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and your guides, and, you're feeling it from them too. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it though. Thank you so much for that. That was fun. I like tarot myself. I don't do it for others. I do it for myself more or less.
Mhm.
And I enjoy. And I know some people really like it and some people don't, and that's
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. You should, do what works, what feels right for the
Yeah.
individual.
I have a friend that is taking a tarot class right now, and she is working with it for symbols and signs to do in her readings. And I thought that's pretty good.
For her medium reading?
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting.
And you never know, maybe she'll use it in her
Mhm.
reading. So yeah.
I have a friend, a medium, who does that also.
Oh,
And she said recently, oh, I think she said that, yeah, that, a long time ago, a lot of mediums used the cards in their readings, which it isn't as popular nowadays, but that it was done. Some very prominent mediums would use the cards to read.
yeah, yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have difference because everybody is looking for something different and
Mhm.
um, maybe not use it as a crutch, but a tool to help you do it,
Mhm.
I believe. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's like any career or profession, teachers do things differently, doctors do things differently, we're all different. It's really not a cookie cutter thing. We're all different souls. We process things and just our we just do things differently, right?
right. Yeah, yeah. Well, I've really enjoyed today. Thank you so much. And if
Oh,
you
you're
want to
welcome.
go over all your service again, more detail where they can find you, and then I will post it so they can find it that way. Put the links in if there are any.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. So my website is newyorkcitymedium.com. And On there, you can find a place where you can schedule a medium reading or a psychic tarot reading. And also, I've just started putting up some more information about my mentorship program. If you would like private lessons or small group lessons, I charge a very nominal fee. I think it's the least expensive fee I've seen around. And it's just really for beginning psychics. So what I work on with them is how to get a link, how to keep a link longer, how to bring in two spirits, how to bring in more than two, and kind of organize it. And let's see, how to hear things. Focus on different what we call clairs. How to focusing on seeing or feeling or things like that, just to kind of get them going. And again, I don't want them to stay in my class forever. I plan to just, it's a 4-week thing, and then they could repeat it a few times. And then eventually I kind of kick them out. I'm like, you don't need me now. You're ready to go. I mean, you could always take an intensive class with, a master, who has like, a big thing, a big group of people and a program and that kind of stuff, which is great too. There are a lot of great teachers, and I plan to maybe go do some of those too. But like I said, I also have friends who are self-taught, and they're equally as good as the ones who've trained. So maybe I'll go that route for myself. I haven't decided yet, but yeah. So that's it as far as the mentorship. It's just kind of, I see it as like a launching thing to get them, so they don't need me anymore. And then I'm like, okay, you're good to go. You're off now. And I also am planning, I haven't started it, but I'm planning on doing a YouTube show where I do readings for people, and I film it on Zoom, and then maybe show like a minute of it on YouTube, just so people could just see some little nice moments of
Hmm.
people connecting with their loved ones.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah,
Thanks.
I like that. Uh,
Thank
and then
you.
you mentioned your medium circle. Do you want to mention that at all, or
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, so anyone's invited to it. It's on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And I can provide you, is it okay, Chandra, if afterward I provide you with the link and the password, and then anyone can come by, and as long as they're a medium, and they've got to give a try to do a reading. If they're a beginner, we have a lot of beginners, so you don't have to worry. But it's not something for like people to just kind of sit in and get readings. So
great? Yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
that would be fine. That would be great to share that.
yeah,
Yeah, great.
yeah. So yeah, anybody's welcome to join us.
Yeah, okay. Um, and I don't think you mentioned anything else, but I want to make sure we covered everything. And if not, we can share it later in the link to get everything to make sure they find you.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds good.
yeah. And thank you so much for today. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, you're welcome. I had a great time. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, and
Yeah,
thank you for this opportunity.
yeah. Thank you so much.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Well, thank you for joining us on Beacons of Light. Have a great day.